How did you, or how were you able to actually live the life that you're living today?
I made choices early on from things that I saw in the 80s and 90s. And for me, there was always, always had this sense of wonder. Like there was always stuff out there that I wanted to know about and learn about. And even before the internet, like I could go down a rabbit hole and just read, one author for a year or listen to one composer for a year, just like really try to learn about something and get into something. You kind of pass an artwork in a museum or something and you're just like, yeah, that's nice. And then you think to yourself, someone spent 2 years on that. Or you're flicking at night and you see a television show or a movie, and what's the average movie from script to screen? 7 years, right? But then there's other ones like Little Man Tate that take 12, and you're sitting there at 3 a.m. going like this, and you don't realize that like 200 people dedicated 80 hours a week for a year to make that artwork or something. So I just got interested in like how things were made and what artists were thinking and what messages they were trying to get across about our society. And so and always loved learning in school. And
What got you to that point? Were your parents voracious readers? Were they scholars? Were they pushing education or spirituality on you?
No. There was a car accident, January 4th, 1985. And I woke up in the hospital with my leg shattered into hundreds of pieces, and my face essentially exploded off of my head.
How old were you?
I was 18. And so during the convalescence period, this is a weird thing to say. I saw the movie The Razor's Edge, by Bill Murray's version, and there were these lines in it that Bill Murray, he almost dies in the Somerset Maugham book. Larry Darrell almost dies, and the Piedmont, the guy with him, does die, and so he feels like he has a debt to pay. He's not going to do the traditional thing of earning a lot of money and having a wife and 2.3 kids, and he's got to cut his own path, and he has to do this thing before he can go on. And for some reason, like a light bulb went off, and there were certain lines in that film, like he's with this coal miner, and the coal miner is just like this card cheat and this like odd guy, but he turns to him and he goes, "You never read the Upanishads?" He goes, "You don't know anything." And that word like stuck in my head, like Upanishads, like, oh, that must be important, right? So I had to spend some time, reading those texts. Actually, what happened was when I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, I realized that I had just wasted a lot of time and money drinking and partying. And I immediately went for a master's degree in philosophy because I had to make up for a lot of time wasted. So I just sequestered myself in a room about a quarter of this size and read books for a year to make up. And then I ended up in New York, and then I ended up in Paris for 3 years. And that taught me a lot of
How did you support yourself through that period? Most people would love to take, get a BA and then a master's. How did you make that happen?
That's interesting because in the beginning, it sounds weird, and I'm going to have to say the whole thing very honestly because otherwise it'll just sound weird. But because I was in the passenger seat of the car accident, from my pain and suffering of having my leg shattered and my face blown off my head and 2 years in and out of surgery, I received the grand sum of $183,000. So that enabled me at the young age of 22 to just say, screw it, I'm going to Paris because I need to live in Paris.
Yeah.
But then when I got there, literally the first night, I met two women. One, Sabine, who was the assistant for Luc Besson, who I ended up working for, and another friend of mine, Cathy Beton, and she ended up getting me a job in the music industry also. So, I mean, yeah, I had a cushion when I first got there to enable me to just get an apartment and like take a French class and do things like that. And then I always have been working and studying at the same time.